This segment is sponsored by the Ohio State University Veterinary Medical Center.
The Ohio State University's Veterinary Medical Center provides top-notch care for your furry friends. They're also at the forefront when it comes to state-of-the-art technology. Cameron Fontana checked in to find out more about some clinical trials they're doing.
Today we are back at the Ohio State Veterinary Medical Center to talk to Dr. Cheryl London, who is the director of the Blue Buffalo Veterinary Clinical Trials Office. How are you, Dr. London?
Good, how are you?
Good. So we love coming out here learning so much about our pets and really how they can help the world, specifically Central Ohio. Explain the difference and the comparison between veterinary clinical trials and trials on human studies.
So veterinary clinical trials are very much like human clinical trials.
How so?
Well, our patients get many of the same diseases like cancer, arthritis, kidney disease, heart disease, etc. And so they often need new treatments to improve their outcomes. And so we conduct studies in our patients, much like human clinical trials, of new potentially promising therapies.
Wow.
It's pretty fascinating, yes.
And so, is it just, are pets just benefiting from this, or can humans benefit too?
So both species can benefit, essentially.
Nice.
So we have dog trials that sometimes lead to new drugs or devices that can then help people and our pets, and vice versa. So we learn from both sides. And our patients are much like kids, essentially. So they come in, you know, they're our children. They come in and with an owner or a pet parent that comes in and says, you know, my dog has cancer and I'm looking for a new therapy, and we enroll them in a study of a new therapy that's maybe a cutting-edge, novel, new drug that may give them hope. So when we think about clinical trials in veterinary medicine, they're very much like human studies. So you come in, you read a consent form, you sign it. You don't have to stay in the study if things aren't working.
Right.
But there may be benefits like the new drug, or there may be some financial benefits associated with it. So it's no different than it is on the human side.
That's incredible. Now you mentioned cancer and some of the diseases earlier. Expand on that. What diseases are being tested?
So we have clinical trials in bladder cancer, which is a common cancer in people, bone cancer, which unfortunately affects children, and in this day and age we still haven't improved outcomes for those kids. Still 30% of children fail and die of their disease, and we see a lot of bone cancers in dogs, so we're studying that. We have studies in a disease called lymphoma, which is a cancer that's seen in both dogs and people, and still 40% of people and 90% of dogs die of it, so we're studying new therapies that will hopefully help both.
Yeah, and it's just amazing to hear about the power of medicine and what you guys are doing here. So, of course, the general public is benefiting from this. But what about the people specifically involved in the clinical trials? Why do something like this?
So, clinical trials are really important in both veterinary and human medicine. In order for us to move the field forward and to discover things that work best to help improve our health as people and as pets, we need to study new drugs and devices. And the only way to do that is through voluntary clinical trials. And there's an effort at both the Med Center and at the College of Veterinary Medicine to enroll patients in clinical trials so that we can learn and advance our fields. I think it's important to note here at Ohio State, we're very unique because we have a partnership with our Cancer Center. We have a partnership with our Center for Clinical and Translational Sciences at the Med Center. And we also work with Nationwide Children's Hospital together as a team to really improve outcomes for both people and pets. So I think the other thing to understand about developing new therapies is that anytime you can add a new piece of information to the puzzle or to that development process about how a drug works, it helps move it forward. So as we study drugs and devices in things like mice, we learn things, but often that doesn't directly translate to a positive outcome for people. If you think about diseases like Alzheimer's and Parkinson's, where we haven't really moved the field forward, it would be nice to be able to study those in a setting where it's actually spontaneous, where the disease occurs naturally. We might be able to learn more. So every piece of information we learn is a piece of the puzzle that helps move the field forward.
I love that.
The veterinary medicine is just a part of that puzzle as well.
Part of the piece. And I know a lot of people watching, they want to be part of that puzzle.
Right.
They have a piece, they have an animal, maybe with a disease. What's the first step they need to take if they want to be part of this?
So if you're interested to learn more about clinical trials, please visit our website. We have all of them listed. You can also email us directly, and we're on Facebook and Twitter as well. We're often reaching out to the public to let them know about these clinical trials. There are multiple advantages to enrolling in a clinical trial. Not only will you potentially get access to a cutting-edge, state-of-the-art therapy, therapy,
Yeah.
but it's often at no cost, and so it's free, typically, for many of our
Wow.
studies. Yes, so care is free. So that helps with enrollment as well. So there's a financial benefit as well as a personal benefit. And I think you and I have both have friends, family members, et cetera, that have been affected by heart disease or cancer, and so and we may have had pets that are affected by those. So by participating in a study, you not only help your pet or your family member, it's the community that benefits.
And that's what it's all about, the community
Yeah.
and coming together. Dr.
Yes.
London, thank you so
You are
much for
welcome.
sharing this. Like she said, you can be a part of that piece in the grand puzzle to help many of these diseases move forward in medicine. Again, just visit the website vet.osu.edu.